Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars, and also at the moment I'm running loads of polls and votes on my Instagram so that you can vote on what requests I do. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can book a singing lesson from me. I do lessons both in London, UK and online. And last but not least, do check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can find more exclusive content and guarantee that your request definitely happens. This one has actually been a request from Nicholas. Hey Nicholas, thank you so much for this one. It is classic, really, so I'm excited to listen. I'm always excited to listen, aren't I? I just like the music. With an orchestra, yes! Such a classic. It's so heavy, but in the best way. There is just something so beautiful about the combination of classical orchestras and rock and metal. I love how the string section just adds that extra oomph and layer. It just sounds so epic. You know you've really made it as a band when you can afford to play with an orchestra. Because that's a lot of people to pay. It's awesome though. I love it already. So, I love this forward placement, and a lot of rock singers do this because it's the only way that they can cut through the entire band. This na 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 forward placement sort of vibe. Now, obviously, it doesn't sound as nice on my little mic here, but na na na, if you can get into this horrible place and then bring it back to a slightly warmer place, you've got it. What you don't want is ha da da. And then when he does put breath through on the end of a phrase, like he did on that second phrase, it really means something. It's really effective. You're like, ooh. So the first time was na 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 wow, and he went around the vowel. I can't remember the word. And the second time na 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 na. And he let that breath come through. Just playing around with tones is really important and really expressive. Rock singing is a thing of saying yow instead of you. I like it.
The outside, search inside for you to take back what you
like those little growly bits. Back.
to be the one who seeks, so I may find to wanna wait my whole lifetime.
What I love is the difference between these really open vowels. So I will find it's all there really open, and then he'll close completely on like the n's and the ms on some of the notes. So he's been really expressive in how he's singing every note. He's thinking about the easiest way to sing it and the best way to express it as well. See, that's an ah, and then closing. I like that little flick up at the end. Do you think that orchestra deal with that a lot? Like people diving off the stage? I doubt they see that very often. I love these scoops off as well. And then they growl through.
The more I search, the more my need for you. The more I bless, the more I bleed for you. You make me smash the clock and feel I'd rather die behind the wheel. Time was never on my side.
Oh, the drumming, he's so into it, I love it. What is so interesting about this is, and often the mistake that people make in writing kind of rock stuff, I think, is that it isn't always loud. Like sometimes it's slow and quiet and then it builds into it. It always has a kind of, in this anyway, a driving bass line. It's not too much at once. It's actually understated in some ways. He's singing in an easy part of his voice so that when he sings these big high notes and everyone comes in together with something a bit stronger, it really packs a punch. If you start with that, then often you have nowhere to go. Oh, so wonderfully epic. And a slick little riff on that. I love these growls behind on the backing vocals. These slides have the effect of wailing. I like to relate singing a lot to the sounds that we make just in everyday speech or in emotions, and the only time you really slide like that in everyday speech is if you're wailing or crying, and you get that effect of anguish because of that. So if you're thinking of writing a song or what effects to put in, think about what you do, what emotion you have first, and then what your voice naturally does with that emotion. So that slide up and down is the kind of slides that your voice makes when you cry, or when you wail, or when you're upset about something. If you're angry, what noise does your voice make? Do you attack the diction? Is it light? Do you breathe a lot? Do you get a bit flustered? What emotional sounds that you use in every day can you put into your singing? Now, so far, it's it's been above the male break or most people's break, but it still isn't like majorly high, but also that makes it feel super stable and you feel safe with it. And any of the effects are very, very deliberate. So the growls and stuff, it isn't high like Miles Kennedy does these like super high notes, but it's not about that. It makes you feel everything, the whole orchestration of it, the band, the musicianship. It's very, very emotive, and that is the most important thing to me. See what I mean about it being understated, and when it kicks in, you're like, ugh. It means something. The tease of the music is clever musicianship. That's like a call, like a long shout, that one. What's clever here is how it's slowly building instrument by instrument. So you have the drums are keeping very, very steady, and the guitar is building underneath, and the bass is keeping steady as well, and then the orchestra's building. It feels like, oh, I am keeping calm on the surface, but the tension is building underneath. And you hear that, and then you're like, oh, where's it gonna go? And the way the melody rises with the strings. Oh, and that held bass line moving up and up. Oh. It's like waves, it's brilliant. And how it's speeding up in tempo. It's like your heart. That ending was brilliant. It was so tense. I felt really anxious all the way up to the end, but in a really good musical way. How it built super, super slowly and then just ended with a punch. I guess that was the end of the show as well, so it was a real brilliant outro. It just took you on an amazing journey, so the musicianship is awesome in this as well as the singing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!